The type of marketing that you're doing right now is putting your business on shaky ground, keeping you on the darn marketing hamster wheel. And honestly, it might be attracting the type of prospects you don't want. So the very first episode ever here, Brady,
What's up?
Evergreen Marketing Show, completely different format. So we were talking right before we hit record here. It's like, dude, we don't do podcasts across the table from each other.
We don't. This is an experiment. So whatever happens, happens. And you guys are just along for the ride.
And dude, one of the cool things I'm excited about it too is normally you're right on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
And as we were brainstorming, what are we going to do with this brand new show here at Carrot, which we're going to introduce to y'all here officially. But we're like, no, dude, let's bring them into our office. Like we're strategizing marketing, we're digging in, and really give everyone that peek behind our shoulders while we're just diving into tactical strategy, showing data, sharing cool stuff, having fun.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Like as we were talking about planning the show, the whole goal is for people to be able to come into episode 1, if we're talking a year from now, and be able to come back to episode 1 and hey, you want to learn evergreen marketing, you want to learn how it works, you want to learn how to generate leads like this, go back to episode 1, which might be episode whatever in the feed, who cares, but go back to this episode, start from there, and you can learn it with us.
Dude, so I love it.
It's gonna be fun.
This is the Evergreen Marketing Show, and guys, I'm being honest with you here on the YouTube or on the podcast side of things. I'm going to read our new show intro notes right here, and we're going to get used to it as we go. But guys, welcome to the Evergreen Marketing Show. This is where every single week we're going to help you master SEO, content marketing, paid ads, and really the aim is to help you get off that darn marketing hamster wheel. The marketing that you're doing is either putting you on the hamster wheel, setting you free. This is where we help you get off of it. This episode is sponsored by this very company that we're in the building of Carrot. And if you guys have not heard of Carrot, we help thousands of top real estate investors, agents, and now HVAC companies, other high margin service businesses to attract the best leads online. And so guys, if you are not a Carrot member, go to carrot.com, grab a trial over there, get your website set up, do some work, get some leads. We'll show you guys how in these episodes.
There's the Easter egg number 1. Nobody knows we're going to HVAC.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Little minor
announcement.
Little minor announcement. So, dude, today, and then I'll toss it over to you after this. Today, we're just kind of setting the foundation, right? Because we're going to be on a multi-year journey here. This isn't a short series or a couple episodes. This is us really saying, let's plant a stake in the ground in this industry and honestly, small business as a whole. To help small business actually attract the best leads through the internet, get off that darn hamster wheel like we've talked, stop doing marketing that's slimy, sleazy, attracting people you don't want, or marketing you're ashamed of. And we're setting the foundation. What the heck is evergreen marketing? So we haven't rehearsed this, dude, but where do you want to start?
I want to start with kind of what you're talking about. What is evergreen marketing? We're talking about, if for some people that have been on like webinar or workshop, like this might make more sense to you guys. But what is the difference between inbound and outbound? And really, like Trevor, in your words, what makes evergreen so special, and like why? What's the cause for evergreen? Because I feel like this is important. If everyone's listening to this, you're like, oh, just get to the tactics. Like, hang in there with us. You need to understand what separates it, and you need to understand why to do it. So, anyways, why is evergreen different,
dude? So the actual word evergreen, like when you actually look at the word evergreen, it's something that happens one time and it remains for a long time, right? Now the opposite of that is hamster wheel, which if you literally picture a hamster on the wheel, that little guy, running around there, the thing only moves while you're on it, right? You have to physically do an action to make it move.
You get off, it stops.
Yeah, you get off, it stops. You want to take a break, take a vacation, whatever it is, it stops, and you got to get back on the hamster wheel to make it work again. So the challenge here, and where I started to kind of go through my own learning journey as an entrepreneur, this would have been 2012. My previous company before that, I had 2 of them. In 2008, I got really, really good at writing content, putting it on the internet, and I would get traffic, right? I'd make a blog post, make a YouTube video. I would start to get people doing a Google search for that thing, landing on my website. And then I discovered how to take those people and turn them into customers. And the thing that was really striking to me is those were like the best people. Those are the best customers because they were actively trying to find a solution to their problem. So then I started another company after that, and I did marketing the opposite way. And I didn't coin the term hamster wheel marketing or evergreen marketing by that time. I just knew the marketing that we were doing worked, but dude, I couldn't pull away for a week or 2 weeks because when I stopped doing that activity, whether it's the direct mail or cold outreach, then the activity stopped.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden our pipeline in 6 weeks or 8 weeks would go down, revenue would go down.
Right. The business wasn't designed with intention. You didn't,
No.
when you're starting a business, you're not thinking about like, okay, how do I want this business to be set up in a way where I'm doing marketing that is going to allow me to take the time off
Yeah.
and get quality leads that don't waste all my time.
And dude, the marketing works like that. That's
Yeah.
the hardest thing with doing the other type of marketing is evergreen
Yeah.
marketing, as we'll explain for sure over the first 3 episodes of this brand new podcast Evergreen Marketing Show. We're going to lay the groundwork for how to make this work, right? But it takes work. It takes some time, and we'll give you some examples in this episode of what is evergreen marketing, what isn't. But the hamster marketing is tempting because it works pretty immediately, right?
Yeah.
Picking up the phone and calling people, sending out a text message, knocking on doors. But the challenge is that's all built off the back of your time or somebody else's time. And so if you want to scale hamster marketing, it either means you scale your time, which means you lead yourself away from what we believe here at Carrot a business should exist for, which is to create freedom and impact.
Yeah.
You actually end up building a business that owns you because your marketing owns you.
Yeah.
And so in that period of time in 2012, I was getting wore out, dude. I was completely wore out with this business that had this kind of boom and bust cycle of income. At the end of the year, we made some good money, but every month we were like, okay, where do we get leads next month?
Yeah.
And we had to do the thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And when you're truly building a business for freedom and impact, you start to realize pretty darn quickly that business is the very thing that's actually trapping you rather than giving you freedom. And that's what happened to me. And so I looked back at that business over the past 3 years. I'm like, dude, something's got to change.
Yeah.
And I was looking through the line items of where my revenue was coming from. And I found this one thing that was like less than 10% of our revenue. But I hadn't done that activity in 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was this content we put up on the internet that was ranking crazy well. It was getting people to come through. And I'm like, what if that's the answer? Like, what if it's not the business model that was a problem? What if it's the way that I'm marketing that is actually trapping me? And I said, maybe I'm just going to focus on that. So the next several years with my agency and then what became Carrot 2, I just said, we're just going to create content. We're going to get it on the internet. We're going to get in front of the most motivated people who are already searching. And if I could build my business on that, where I have people hitting that website, building trust and credibility, our website, answering questions, you're really bringing them in and adding value instead of interrupting them in their day.
Right.
What if that makes the business better?
Yeah.
What if it makes it more fun? What if I'm talking with people who actually want to talk with me?
Right. That's the thing, man. And like you're talking about more fun in the sense of like the leads, the people you want to talk to. That I may just be I just may be the nerd here, but I like evergreen marketing just because it is more fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. For me, there's something about like the challenge, the game of like, can I make it to the top of Google?
Yeah.
Like, can I get to show up? And some people maybe like, I don't want to spend my time doing that stuff. Maybe you outsource some of it, learn some of it, whatever. That's okay. But I don't know, man. I love that challenge of like trying to rank for different terms and just like how fast can I get us to show up?
Dude.
I remember making like my first check off of like evergreen content that I did personally for like, it was an affiliate marketing thing too.
Yep.
And so it was extra gratifying because mailbox money.
Yeah.
But that was the light bulb moment for me. It was like, I made evergreen content, took a little while to take off, put it on Carrot, put it on YouTube. And it's like, boom, I'm getting leads.
Yep.
Boom, the money's coming in. It's like, this is amazing.
That's where the light bulb goes off.
Still ranking, it's still making money. I'm like, this is nuts.
So then you stack those. Like you guys will hear throughout the whole series here. Not the series. I mean, this is a show now, right?
This is forever. We're here till we
forever.
Die. We're at
forever.
This desk forever.
So you guys will hear me. I'll probably use the term like stacking bricks, right? So guys, you see a bunch of bricks behind me if you're watching the YouTube version. If you're on the podcast, go check out the Evergreen Marketing Show on YouTube. But if you like take that analogy, evergreen marketing is something, and the bricks to me are like a web page. It's a piece of content, and every one of those you stack actually helps you build momentum. Now, where some people get stuck, and we're going to dive into some data and stats, and I might be getting ahead of the curve here, but every piece of content you stack is now adding to that picture, building momentum. And then you're going to look back in 6 months, 12 months and go, dude, I can actually hang up the cold calling forever, or I can hang up direct mail if I want to.
Yeah.
And we're not saying not to do hamster wheel marketing. Like I am not a person that's saying not to do direct mail. Do those things, you should. But just recognize what outbound marketing or hamster wheel marketing does for your lifestyle, and recognize that you oftentimes attract a much lower motivated person. So you have to sift through more phone calls. You have to deal with more people who aren't motivated, which means more time on the phone, or you have to hire people to process those.
More energy, yeah.
More energy.
I've talked to, like, I can count on one hand the people I've talked to. They're like, I don't mind cold calling. I love cold calling. Everybody else is like, this is the worst.
Yeah.
And I think the people on that one hand are lying to themselves.
Yeah, dude, for sure, man, for sure. So I mean, I kind of opened that window there, and I'm going to bring up this thing here on the screen. And Braden, if you can pop this up on the screen, guys, if you're listening to the podcast, I want you to go to YouTube as well, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But you guys might be going like, cool, Trevor Brady, this kind of sounds cool, but does this work? Is it just a couple leads here or there?
Yeah.
Is it something you can scale? Can you really build your business off of this? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say yes with caveats. Okay. Yeah. So if you're in a market like Roseburg, Oregon, and you're a real estate agent, investor, HVAC person.
Yeah. 30,000 population-ish, 30, 40.
Small town. You can get consistent business from it. Could you run $1 million a year business from just an SEO ranking in this one little town? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. So then you'll want to add on more scalable outbound, but you can get the consistency from that. Mm-hmm. So this stat here, guys, one of the main reasons evergreen marketing is so important, and why we really step into it big time, is because you're actually attracting a much higher quality lead. Right? It's a person who, if you put yourself in the mind of that person, they're actually searching to find a solution. They're not, sifting through Facebook or eating their dinner, and they go to pick up their mail and go, oh shoot, yeah, I do need to sell my house, or yeah, I do need an HVAC repair. You have to cast a really wide net to try to find the few people that might be interested in taking action today with normal marketing, with outbound.
Yeah.
With inbound, everybody that is hitting your website landed there because they took the action to make a search, right, and landed on your website.
Yeah.
Ideally from a search with something you can solve their problem. And the lead to deal conversion rate. Now, this is in real estate. I don't have the numbers in other industries, but you can probably bet that they're similar. The lead to deal conversion rate, so meaning I got a lead, as in a web form fill or a phone call, from a person who did a Google search, landed on a Carrot site, is about 8.2% in this survey that we ran with a couple hundred of our clients responding. We also asked them, with your other marketing, what was your lead to deal close ratio there? And Brady, I know you've dove into this data a bunch. What is it?
1.11% lead to deal conversion rate on the quote unquote the other marketing methods. Basically the leads that didn't come through a Carrot website. So it's over 7 times higher lead to deal conversion. And for the industry, and at the time they're recording this, a lot of investors and agents, we're looking at the average deal size, almost an extra 14 grand per deal. That's crazy.
Dude, it's huge.
For some people, depending on the type of deals, that's like triple.
So then you get those two metrics together. Like that's the crazy thing, is not only are you increasing your lead to deal ratio, so you have to go through fewer leads to actually close a client, because you're working with people who are more motivated. But then because they're more motivated, they oftentimes end up being a higher revenue per client.
Yeah. And the spend goes down over time. I mean, whether you're outsourcing your SEO or you're doing it with the agencies doing some, or Carrot Marketplace vendors doing some, or you're doing some, or it's just your time, still that time investment goes down over time.
Dude, and so I'm going to pull up something else, guys. I'm just going to rattle off a couple little things here, and then I'm probably taking us off script slightly here, dude. So rope me back in, in. But this is a screenshot from some of our data. Now, this isn't the most recent data, because I don't actually have access to our most recent Google Analytics, but this is over a period of about a year and a half. 1.2 million leads. Now, goal completion, that's just a web form submit. That doesn't include any of the phone calls that came in. So you can probably add on another 400,000 to 600,000 phone calls. So somewhere between 1.5 and 2 million leads during this time period.
Okay? What's the time period?
About a year and a half, 2 years or so. And so, about 2 years. So with this, the reason I want to bring this up to you guys, and if you guys are looking at this really quick, the organic search box there, that search bucket, while it's the second highest traffic source on people coming to our Carrot websites, these are leads to Carrot websites, y'all. Direct was the number one. It's someone that literally typed in the URL and landed on the website.
Yeah.
That's from your direct mail. That's from the radio ad you did, the TV ad. That's from someone knowing your website and typing it in. But the organic search, it's the number 2 traffic source. Almost 10 million visitors during that period of time. It's about 2 years.
Yeah.
and the lowest bounce rate, so meaning they engaged in the website, they were actually interested in engaging the content, and the highest conversion rate on some of these by double.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, it's people literally going in droves to the internet to find you, to solve their problem.
Which is crazy. Not to go down. We'll cover this more in the second episode. Next episode, we're going to talk more about like what is a launching Evergreen, like what is a hub versus a website. But even if you're not doing any Evergreen marketing, people think, oh, I'm not doing online marketing, I don't need a website. That's like the biggest lie, biggest misnomer is that you don't need a website. People are still going to search for you, or they're going to go directly to you, and they want to do the research. And if they can't, then they're going to go someone else.
Dude, I'm pumped you brought that up, because I was on a call with a prospective client a couple months ago, and they're like, well, I'm cold calling, right? So why do I need a website?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So let's kind of think through this as a customer ourselves of things, right? So the higher the dollar amount of your decision, usually people do more research, right? I'm at the checkout stand. I'm not going to hit Google and research what is the best gum.
I will.
Brady will. Brady will. He loves his gum. He's a gum connoisseur. So Brady's going to research the gum, right? What's he going to type? He's going to type like whatever versus this, or whatever reviews.
Is sorbitol good for you?
Exactly. Right. But then if he's looking to sell his house or get a financial planner or a big medical decision, we found, we corroborated with other research too, that medical and real estate tend to be the top two things that people are going to go to the internet and do massive research for.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about these topics, guys, in the Evergreen Marketing Show over time, of like landing pages versus full content pages, short copy, long copy, all these topics.
Yeah.
In these industries where people are doing deep research, content is key. Like, we need to put content online. And when we're putting content online, it's there to answer questions, eliminate objections, build trust.
Yeah.
And if you do a direct mail piece, or you text message someone or cold call them, the very first thing I'm going to do, and a lot of people will do, is they're going to go, what's your name again? Hey, it's John with XYZ Home Buyers. For me, I'm going to hit the internet and go, who is this dude?
Yep, you're on speakerphone. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a website?
Trying to type quietly so they don't hear you Googling them.
Dude, exactly. Do you have a website? If you don't have a website, you don't exist, or you're not trustworthy. Not saying that you can't close deals without it. I know amazing closers. RJ Bates is a great one. You can close without a website. It's not whether you need.
He's like the best closer. He's one of the best. I mean, that's like
we'll get RJ. We'll get him on the show, dude. We will. And it's not whether you don't need, like, do you need Evergreen Marketing to succeed as a business? No, you don't. But the question is, if you don't nail it and do what we're going to be teaching throughout the show, of getting in front of those prospects who are already searching for you because you texted them or called them or they saw your ad, how many deals are you losing? How many customers are you losing? Yeah. It's not whether you can get customers without it. It's how many are you losing right now because you aren't focusing on it? And how many are you okay with losing because you're ignoring Evergreen Marketing?
Yeah.
It's a biggie.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It is.
Well, let's talk about a couple things. And actually, I think I do have some data. So in a minute, when you're talking, I'll pull up some of that data we're looking for in like conversion rates by channel. I can dig a little bit deeper into the data. But tell me about we talked about inbound versus outbound. How Evergreen is different. We talked about that. Tell me why you think outbound is getting harder, and give me a couple examples, like tactical examples of Evergreen Marketing, so that people in their heads can say, okay, I know how to label that. And that's Evergreen Marketing. Like Google search, that's Evergreen. Are there any other examples of Evergreen that maybe aren't obvious to people?
Dude, good question. So I'm going to go online, offline. Yeah. Okay. So online Evergreen is content that you're putting in a spot that's going to be there for a long time, forever, as long as that platform's still there. And that it's getting in front of people who are already 24/7 doing searches that your content solves. Okay. So if I'm a web searcher and I'm looking to sell my house, or I inherited a home, or I'm looking for the best real estate agent in whatever, or my HVAC went out, or I have a plumbing issue or whatever, I'm going to hit the internet.
Yeah.
I'm going to Google how to fix X, or best real estate agents in, or how to sell my house in probate, or how to sell a fire damaged home, or how to sell a house without a real estate agent, or whatever. Yeah. Right. So then my website has a piece of content that's optimized really well, which Carrot helps you do. in our software, and we'll teach you guys how to do it throughout the show. So show up, go to our community, y'all. How do people get to the
Oh
community?
yeah, we forgot to mention the whole thing. So these first 3 episodes are going to be in the podcast feed. If you're listening to this, you probably found our podcast. So thanks for listening. But if you want to watch us live every week after these first few episodes, go to Facebook. Just type in Evergreen Marketing Carrot. There's probably a better way. I'll figure it out next episode. But go to search Evergreen Marketing Carrot, and there's the Carrot official Facebook community. But we'll be on there live every week doing Q&A and stuff too.
They'll find it. I like it. So yeah, that's you getting content online that's valuable for a long, long time, that gets in front of searchers. The offline version of Evergreen Marketing is more like it's like relationship building, right? It takes a while to build the momentum. You go to a networking meeting down the road today, you're going to meet a couple people, but those people aren't going to immediately start referring business to you. Right. You got to get to know them. You got to add value to them. You have to show that you're not just there to take the value, but then add it back. And you might refer them a little bit of business, or over time, as they continue to meet you and trust you, then they're going to go, oh my gosh, Brady, I remember he does X, Y, Z. I'm going to refer him a client. As you build up that network, then you're going to be getting customers coming your way all the time because you built the referrals. But that takes a while to build, right? That's not a week, a month, 6 months. It's probably like 6 months to 3 years to really get momentum.
Yeah. And then the extreme version of that is you talk to somebody that's running, I mean, a business in any industry for, 20 to 50 years. And like, where do you get your leads? Where do you get your business? Like at that point, it doesn't matter because you've focused on evergreen content for so long and building relationships and word of mouth. It's like, you get to the point where you don't need to do any marketing,
dude. And the same thing happens with both of those. So if you stop building those relationships or fostering those relationships and reaching out and talking with them and adding value, eventually someone else is working to build that and it's going to wane. So you still have to maintain evergreen marketing in some way. Same thing happens with content. You can't just post 10 or 20 pieces of content on your website. We're going to show you the exact type of content in this next couple episodes, but you can't just post it one time, sit back for 10 years, do no other work and expect it to come in. But it's way less work over the long term, but it's a good bit of work in the short term.
Yeah. It's interesting. I see that's one thing that to me, it seems like a lot more investors are more prone to or better at implementing like SEO, inbound evergreen marketing. Agents are catching on. Some types of agents are more in SEO, but one thing I see agents like generally outdo investors on is evergreen marketing in the sense of like building relationships, getting out there and talking to people and investing in relationships long term. Like my agent texts me every birthday. They're going to take the time to put my birthday in the CRM and whatever. And in those thoughtful touch points, those interactions where investors, I feel like, other industries too could learn a little bit of something from that.
Dude, that's something that we're going to be challenging investors on during the Evergreen Marketing Show. Is I feel investors think way too short-sighted, right? They're transactional focused, not relational. And part of it's because most clients that they're going to buy a home from, they're probably only going to buy one home from them. And then they're going to move to the next person. With agents, they're expecting to help them buy or sell probably 2 or 3 homes over their lifetime. Right. But I would really encourage investors to take more of that approach, because you can build relationship with your clients too, to get referrals. There's so many other things there. With the Hamshua outbound marketing, that's your direct mail, cold calling, door knocking, anything where you're taking a message, you're getting it in front of people, oftentimes having to pay either with your money to get it in front of people or pay with your time to knock on doors or something. And it's usually something they're not in that moment looking for, right? It interrupts people. It's interruption-based marketing. It works. I'm not saying people shouldn't do it. I use it, but the difference is what we suggest is build your business off of evergreen marketing, because that's your foundation. That's where you get your consistency, your predictability. That's where you get your momentum, and then you scale with outbound marketing. And that's where it comes from.
I love that, man. Well, I think that's pretty much a wrap for episode 1. Everybody listening, watching, we're going to get really tactical in the second, third, and so on and so forth. So we got more data, more tactics for you, but I feel like that paints a pretty good vision of like why evergreen, what's the use case for it, what's the argument for it, and yeah, man,
dude. And it keeps getting better, right? That's the thing. When you guys go do research, and I didn't answer your question here because I think this is key. Then I'll toss it back to you.
Which question?
We'll bring this puppy home. The question of like, dude, I'm going blank.
Was it about gum and the?
It was not about the gum. Not
So
about
I really do
the.
Google what kind of gum ingredients.
There was a good question. You had a killer question a little bit ago. I'll skip by it. It'll probably come back for episode 2.
Yeah.
But it was a killer one, dude. It'll come back. But at the end of the day, y'all, what you guys are going to be learning in the Evergreen Marketing Show is how to get off of that hamster wheel. I want you guys to get off that hamster wheel because we want to help you build businesses of freedom and impact, a business that supports you and that community rather than you supporting it. And if you recognize that your marketing is actually one of the key things that keeps you on the hamster wheel or gets you off of it, the big question I have for y'all is, do you want to work your butts off for the next 6 to 12 months getting Evergreen Marketing cranking and then have it be way easier for this next 6 to 12 years? Or do you want to work your butt off for the next 6 to 12 years, 20 years, 30 years, never being able to get off that hamster wheel? And you're at whatever age, as a real estate agent or an investor or an HVAC company, going, I can't pull away because I don't know how to predict where my leads are coming from, and I've got to keep on this hamster wheel. I can't break free of my business. Yeah. That's why we're here, guys.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. Everybody listening, if you like this, if you found it valuable, share with a friend. This is a brand new format for the podcast. The Carrot Cast has been sunsetted after over 500 episodes. Here we are with Evergreen Marketing Show.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
It's insane. I think the tally was something like 570 something technically, but
yeah,
it's wild, man. But I'm really excited about this next season. Everybody that's been listening, the OG episodes has been listening for a while, or whether you're new, really excited you're joining us, and go find us on Facebook. Watch us live in a couple weeks.
Heck yeah. First one in the can, y'all. First one in the can.
All right.
That's fun.